everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we're going to kind of continue our demonstration of the new devices that I've done the research on. And if you haven't seen that video, check out this video up here, and I go over all of the different upscalers that I tested and went through, and which ones I basically came out deciding that they were worth buying because they had good picture quality, didn't have any problems and whatnot. So check out that video up top. I'll try to put the video link down also below. So if you recall, in the previous video earlier this year, I did a demonstration of how you basically convert your VHS tapes into a digital format using something known as an upscaler, right? And so that's what these two devices are here. And then you basically take, you know, your analog signal from your VCR, you plug it into your upscaler, and then you take that signal and you put it into a capture card like this Cam 4K here. But what we're going to demonstrate in this video now is not using these standalone upscalers into your PC, but we're going to demonstrate to you these devices over here that are self-contained. So you just take basically one of these ClearClick devices, you take the audio or the RCA cables directly, you plug it into it, you make it work. And we're going to walk through that process today and show you basically two methods for doing this, both using the native recording function and then also using them as a pass-through mechanism to do something very similar to what we did with our Ytrux upscaler in the previous video. So with that, do me a favor, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button down below, and let's kind of get into this. Okay, so what we're going to talk over in this video is how to convert the VHS using our VHS tape here. And we're going to go ahead and take that and use these direct recording devices instead of trying to pass it through an upscaler like we did with the Ytrux and the Cam 4K back here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through that process. Now, before I do that, I just want to talk real quick about some of these devices over here, because we're going to talk about the ClearClick devices because those are the ones that I've checked out. I know what chips are on them. The video quality is great, and I can validate that they are good products. This Diamond unit, I think, is a older version of the ClearClick unit. Different brands, obviously. They obfuscated the chip in this one, so I can't tell you what it is. And this is, you can find it online. This produces very good video quality if you can find this model, and this is the Diamond VC500 ST. Now, again, can't validate the chip, but the one I have here produces really good quality video. Now, it's 640 by 480. The ClearClicks will produce you a better or higher resolution image video than this one, but this is 640 by 480 natively, right? Now, that's the Diamond unit. I'm going to put that out of the way. Now, the other one that came to my attention, somebody since the last video said, have I tried to look at the Portta unit? And this looks like a very promising unit. I bought it online. It's got a nice interface button-wise, good feel, nice screen, has the same kind of setup as the ClearClick device, but the disappointing part is the manufacturer obfuscated the chip. And also, I will tell you that when I did a video capture of this, the same video as before, and I'm gonna put it right here, you will see that its video quality is really good. Doesn't seem to have any of the discoloration problems, doesn't seem to have any of the power problems or anything like that. But it does, if you look at it real closely, and I'll make sure that it's playing right now, but there's a little bit of a wobble in the image, which makes me think maybe the chip that it's using is just a little lesser quality than the ClearClick devices. As the ClearClick devices, I know when I looked the chips up, they're rated for 4K, so they're really high quality chips, which might explain why they're a little bit more expensive than everything else that I've recommended. But not that you're going to get 4K out of this, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that when you look at the specs on the chip, it can handle up to a 4K image. So probably just because they're modern chips, modern times. This device is also about $140 US. The Gen 2 ClearClick is like $150, and the Gen 3 is $190. So when you are thinking about this, you want to do this one time. I honestly would probably pass on this and just go either with the Gen 2 ClearClick model for $150, it's $10 more, or I would do the the Gen 3 unit here. All three of these units do operate in the kind of a pass-through mode, so if you don't want to use the native function to record inside, you can use their HDMI port and use it like an upscaler. This model, I will say, has the ability to turn off the on-screen, and you don't have to do some of the trickery that I'm going to show you in OBS around the ClearClick device here in a little bit later in the video. But not a bad unit. Not a bad device. I will still put this in the description down below because quality is not horrible. If for some reason the ClearClick devices sell out, and this is my one of last resort, it's still on the list. It's just at the bottom. But with that, I think I'm going to do the ClearClick devices. So let's talk about the ClearClick devices and hooking them up to our VCR. So what we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate these two devices. They're very, very similar in how they work. This is my standard VCR. Just quick comment around VCRs in general. I don't know how long I've had this one for. It's been around my world for as long as I can remember. If you remember the one in the last video, I did buy that from a lady on Facebook Marketplace, and it finally died. It ate one of my tapes. I was pretty upset about that. What are you gonna do though? So be just kind of aware that when you buy used VCRs, these are very mechanical devices using mechanical tapes, and they were prone to fail even back in, you know, when I was a kid and in the old days. So just kind of be aware of that, you know, if you buy one used or you find one on a Goodwill shop or something, you never know what environment it was in. You never know how many tapes played through that thing. Don't use your most precious memory as the very first tape to put in that device and plug it in and turn it on, because it might eat it, as that other one did eat one of my tapes. So a little upset about that. Nothing I can do. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about then the process for this. As with the VCR, sometimes they have the jacks on the front and they have the RCA jacks on the back. In this case, this is a VCR DVD combo, and I know a few of you have asked me the question online, or you've had some problems, you've written me and I've helped you work through it, and in some cases you might have bought the Yitrox upscaler that wasn't the composite version. It was the component version, which means it didn't have one yellow. It had the green, the blue, and the red connector, which is where it breaks the signals out into 3 different wires instead of one. That, if you have one of these units, which are very common, which is the VCR DVD combo, you'll see that even this one has that. So here's the green, blue, and red connector. And that is not meant for the VCR side. So if I play a tape in this in the VCR side, there is no signal coming out those ports. So even if I buy the Yitrox upscaler that has those component connectors, it's not going to work, because that is only meant for the DVD connector, right? And if you really read down the fine print, some of the manuals, it will tell you that. Also, sometimes it's printed on the back plastic here. It'll say, you know, DVD only, and VHS and DVD is the other one. In this case, I have to use these component ones, which is this column right here. So I'm gonna put my yellow to yellow, red to red, and white to white in my case here. And that is going to allow output for the DVD or for the VHS. Now, just be aware, if I was playing the DVD and I wanted to watch it, technically DVDs can do 1080p if you use the component, you know, the green, the red, and the blue connectors. But if you're gonna want to copy a DVD to digital to watch it on your TV or something like that, there's software that will rip that out of a DVD directly on the PC. I would not use any of these methods here for doing that conversion. From here, you're going to take this cable and you're either going to plug it into whichever one you have. They both have the same thing, right? So I'm going to go, you know, white on white, red to red, and yellow to yellow. And then I needed to decide how I want to record with this device. Now, both of these devices will allow a memory card, like a little SD card, to be inserted into the device. Over here, the SD card goes on the one side of the Gen 2, and on the Gen 3, you used a micro SD card, and that will be plugged into the top right there in a little slot, right? The other option that you can do, instead of using an SD card, and I find this to be very convenient, is you can just grab a USB stick, and both of them have USB ports on the top here that you can take this USB stick and you can just plug it in and it will detect it and it will record right to that USB stick. Now, when you're doing this, all you gotta do is turn the device on. Now you'll notice that my Gen 2 does not turn on natively, but the Gen 3 will, because the Gen 3 does have a battery built into it, so it'll turn up. So I have to get a power cord here for the Gen 2, and I can put that in here, right? And so now you'll see it kind of fires up, and it's going to go ahead and detect the signal from my VCR. And if I turn my VCR on, it should just pop my tape out here, because that's what it always did in the past. Stop. Okay, so it's not popping it out, which is fine. You'll see the screen here, and if I hit play, a little bit of dead space on the tape, and then here's my whitewater rafting video. If I hit play on this again. All right. You can, if you listen real closely, I don't know if the microphone's picking it up right now, but there is a volume, so you can turn it up, turn it down on the screen, and you can actually listen and watch everything. To record the video, all you do is hit the record button one time. You'll see in the upper corner, it'll start a little timer as it's recording the video. You hit play on the VCR, you let the video play, and you've got yourself a video. All you gotta do is hit stop one more time, or record stop, and now this USB stick, if I pull it out and I go and I put it over here on my PC, I can actually play the video, and there's nothing I have to do. No OBS, no conversion, nothing like that. Now, for the Gen 3, same thing. I take my USB stick, plug it into the USB port. I take my cables for the video. I'm gonna plug the yellow to yellow, red to red, white to white. And you'll see I get the same kind of screen here, much bigger screen. It's a clearer picture. I don't know if that comes across in the video there, but it is definitely a clearer picture. It's got, I think I can go up and down on the arrows here for volume. And if I want to record, the record button's down here in the corner. All I have to do is push this one time, and it does the counting over in the corner. It's the ClearClick models are very similar to each other in interface and how you use it. So don't feel like one's going to be any better than the other. This is, video quality, they're the same. I've compared the videos from this native format. They produce exactly the same videos as far as I can tell. And the chips inside are the same. So I would imagine it would produce the same thing. I like the Gen 3 better from the visual interface. I just like, I like the micro SD card. I just kind of like the format of the 3 better. They produce the same thing. And you're done here, you just hit record button again, it'll stop. Again, I can take my USB stick out now and I can put it in my VCR, and it'll be an MP4 that I can play. Now, the video is being recorded in both of these devices is 720 by 480, so basically 480p. It does a fabulous job. Put those two right here so you can kind of see those video and what they look like. It does a really good job around its detecting the color, and it's not too dark, not too bright, doesn't wash things out. It looks just fabulous. I mean, I'll be honest with you, these are really good. I think they do end up being, this is a little bit more costly than, let's say, going with the Cam 4K and the Itrox. I think that's a little bit of a cheaper path if you were to go that way, because you do need a USB stick or a memory card to kind of record with this. You can't just buy it and be done. You have to actually have something to put it onto. But if you have a USB stick around, I've had one around, I didn't have to buy that, and I've had plenty of SD cards. Now, you would probably not want to keep your videos on these forever. You probably want to put them on a BC or something like that, just because these are real hard to label and move around. But the other nice part about this too is even if I am not recording with these, you can now take your videos and you can put them in the device, and I can actually go ahead and hit, like on the Gen 3, I can hit mode here, and I can go to play mode, and you'll see here I'm actually able to play the video, right? Let's see if I can find the start button. And this video can be played on this device. I think I can also hook it into the HDMI port, hook it into a TV. So this is a convenient way also that you could take this as almost like a portable VCR, which makes this extremely handy, especially the Gen 3, because it has a battery in it. I mean, you could just do an HDMI cable to the TV and you probably have a little while that you could sit and watch your movies with. If you do this with the Gen 2, Very similar. If I hit mode here, it will go to the play, and I hit OK, and you'll see it does the same thing. It plays it. So these are very powerful units for the money. I mean, it's basically a portable VCR that you can do it. And if you have them on USB sticks or videos, you could cycle through them, and you could take this to wherever you're going for your family vacations or your family events, and you could plug it into somebody's TV with an HDMI cable and share the videos with everybody in the family. You don't need to have a VCR or a computer with you or a laptop. You could just take this device with you. Now this one, obviously you would have to have a USB cable and a little adapter to give it power. This one we could run on battery. If you're gonna do it for a long time, you would probably want to plug it into USB. But this is a very powerful solution that I think is worth the additional money, going beyond just the upscaling and recording. If your goal is to just convert the videos, the upscaling and recording, cheaper way of going, still very high quality. If you like the idea of portability and the idea of being able to just move this around, have a portable VCR, this is great. This is something also that I will find myself lending out to my friends. I just had a friend of mine say he had some bunch of tapes he found in his garage, and he was asking me, because he knew I did these videos, hey, how do I do this? What do I buy? And my answer, was, hey, bring me all the tapes, I'll convert it for you. But then that's a lot of time on my part, depending upon how many tapes he has. Now, I'm just gonna let him borrow one of these and call it a day. Then he can get his own USB sticks and make it that way. So great unit. Let's go ahead and talk about how to use them as a pass-through device if you want to take them into OBS and kind of upscale them to maybe a 1080p kind of mode. It's a little bit of a trickery because the display that's on this thing gets transferred into OBS, so you have to kind of chop that out a little bit. But with that, let's go and hook it up in OBS and show you how to do the pass-through. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna demonstrate for you how to do the bypass method using the HDMI port on the top of the ClearClick device. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plug in my audio video jacks from the VCR. Right, so I'm gonna, my white to white, red to red, and yellow to yellow, and I'm using the 3rd gen, so you'll notice I don't have any power adapters because I can just do it right this. And you'll see I've already got the video coming out, and so it looks good. Might look a little discolored there on that camera because it's the webcam recording the cam. And you'll see that I've got something going on the display. Now, I've got my HDMI cable that goes to the Cam 4K that is plugged into my computer, just like I showed you in the other video. And I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna plug that into the HDMI port here on the top. Now, when I do that, the screen's going to turn off, and that is because it's using the upscaler device in this to pass it through to the Cam 4K. So with that, let's start up OBS, and you'll see I've already got the video kind of coming into OBS through the ClearClick device through the Cam 4K, because this is set up. If I right click here and go properties, you'll see it's using the Cam Link 4K or the Elgato 4K unit. A few people have kind of talked about the audio. Make sure that it says capture audio and use custom audio device, and it says Cam 4K. If you have an audio problem, that is the solution sometimes. Just figure I'd throw that in there. So you'll see here that you're getting a direct pass through of the video screen of what would be displayed on this screen. So if I pull out this HDMI port, you'll see that we get that bar across the top there, right? And all it's doing is directly playing this through to your PC. Now, the benefit, or what I'm trying to demonstrate to you here, is using OBS to then record this screen. And the reason why I'm sharing this, although it's a little bit of a hack, is the blacks are a more true black, right? And if I showed you the video, matter of fact, I can put it right here on the bottom. Let me kind of show you. You'll see here where I have the ClearClick native on a black screen, black background text, and you'll see it's not quite black. It's like a gray color, where when I'm using it in the OBS model, which is this one here, you'll see that it is a nice clean black. So if you are wanting a more clean color picture, whatever, this would be something that you might want to consider doing. Now, the problem with that being is that we get that bar at the top of the screen and we have to kind of get rid of it in some way. Now, this video is set up like I showed you in the other video to be 1440 by 1080, which is a 1080 resolution, but at a 4:3 ratio instead of a 16:9, which would be the full rectangle here. So if we wanted this to be our full picture, the only way that we can kind of trick this thing into doing what we want is to just kind of move it off the screen. So if I undo the lock here, I'm now able to take this and kind of push it up out of the way. Now I'm just using my arrow keys to slowly push it up out of the way, and I'm going to get it up till the screen's at the very top. And then what I'm going to do is hold down on my shift key, and I'm going to drag down and pull this until it gets to the bottom of the screen. And now what I've done is I've kind of maximized the visual viewing area. And that gets me the, let's say, biggest picture, but it also retains that true black color. And you'll see here when I turn off the bars, because the bar was there, I have a little bit of that top. So let me take it up even just a little bit more, just to hide that. And we'll turn that lock off. And now you won't see any of that, right? So now this is giving us the maximum size picture, and then I can click start recording here in OBS, hit play and use the VCR. And I'm basically just using the ClearClick devices like the Yitronics device and using its upscaling capability. And this chip is like I said earlier in the video, is a really good chip, and it's rated up to 4K. Now, you're still taking a VHS signal, which is analog and a low resolution, let's just put it that way, and you're trying to upscale it to a very high resolution, 1080p or better. So your mileage will vary on this road, let's just put it that way. But this is the idea of how you can use these devices as upscalers if you don't want to use the native format. Although, as I described earlier in the video, that native functionality is extremely handy in allowing you to record your videos and use it as a portable VCR and take it with you, and just take a USB stick and you can save your favorite home videos and share it with your family members. Now, a matter of fact, the one thing I want to kind of share with you that is maybe kind of special about this, and I kind of just thought about it while I was doing this video, is one of the questions I've had in the comments is, how do I share all of these videos with my family members? And the answer, like what I do, is I use what's called a Plex media server, and maybe I'll do a video on that in the future, because then I can share that, put all this stuff on a hard drive on my local system here, and then I can share it out through the Plex server and share it to family members who are out of state, but then they got to figure out the Plex stuff. But the other benefits of these things is that they're technically portable VCRs. I mean, as I was showing you earlier how you can play this, whether you recorded your stuff on the Yitrox and the Cam 4K and you've got MP4s on your computer, you could take those MP4s off your computer, put them into the ClearClick device, plug them in here like a USB. I use this one because it's at a battery. And I could change the mode here to movie mode, and I could hit play and I could share all of those home videos with my family members, whether I was going to my aunt's house or my grandmother's house or whatever it may be. And all I have to take is a USB stick with videos on it, my ClearClick device, and maybe an external power adapter if it was gonna do hours of video sharing. And that would be a really good way of being able to share this with, other family members without having to fuss around with laptops and projection screens, or however any way you were coming up and doing this. So I gotta be honest, these are good devices for many reasons, great quality, and hopefully this video helps you understand how you would use them, how you would hook them up, and how they would solve the problem of converting our VHS tapes to digital. And as always, I I hope you found the video helpful. And if you have any comments, put them down below. I'll do my best to answer all the questions that I can. Clearly, I do answer emails when I get a chance and try to help people best I can there. And if you want to know about anything else, please ask away. I'll do what I can. I think I'm going to do a video on the high 8, digital 8, and DV tapes using FireWire. That's been a very popular question. I've seen that a few times and I just have never gotten around to doing that video, but I think it's time to do it. So stay tuned. Hope you like the channel and hope you like the content, and thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.